How kind and loving are you, O Mother? My smiles are your smiles, my tears your tears. In a forest of thorns, you are a beautiful garden of roses. How many sleepless nights did you endure only for my sake, O Mom? No one else but you shared my joy and sorrow. How beautiful and charming are you, O Mom. So kitne अच्छी है, तो कितनी गोरी है, ओ माँ, ओ माँ.
This morning on behalf of members of the family, let me take this opportunity to welcome everyone and of course to say thank you all for being here and joining with members of this family in this time of great grief. Death is something that is always difficult for us to deal with. It is never easy for us to have to cope with someone whom we would have loved over the years. It's always a difficult time really. Although we read Bhagavad Gita will tell us the grief not for the soul. Although the fact remains in the mind that so long as there is life, there will always be death, and that no one will come here to be forever, and they will have to leave one day. Although we are familiar with all these factual information, yet when it happens to us, it becomes difficult for us because of the fact that we have grown to love this person over the years. And so it's never an easy task for us. Nonetheless, family members are all congregated here this morning to do the needful, to do what they have to do in a most loving manner, to see the departure of their beloved mother, grandmother, etc., as the case might be. Today we all stand here and we look at this form lying before us, and I'm sure that we all have some kind of memory of Ma and the things that she would have done for us, and the funny things she would have done, and the things that she would have done when we would have gotten her angry and things like that. And so there are so much memories, but she's lying here now in that state. In which state? A state of eternal sleep, as one would say. She's lying here before us. Her body, the physical form, is made up of 5 elements. The soul is now out of the body. And when we analyze that situation, that is termed as being death for us. That is the analogy we use. But really, death is really life itself, because the soul is immortal. It is eternal, and it never ever dies. Presently, the soul is lingering around, and the body, which is made up of 5 elements, is lying before us. Excuse, guys, I have no sound system, and I'm trying here. Could you please? Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah. So the soul is really lingering around, and the body that is made up of 5 elements is now lying before us here. And so all we can do is to pray and to ask of Bhagwan A to look after the soul, and B to prep the body to meet with Agni Devata, who is the god of fire, in a short while. So basically, if we call ourselves Hindus, a Hindu is one who would go through 5, in fact, who would go through something called sanskar. And a sanskar is a religious ceremony that takes place at every important juncture in one's life. Take, for example, Namkaran Sanskar, which is when the child comes into the world, we pronounce a name for the child. Jatkaran Sanskar, the cutting of the hair for the first time, the feeding of grains for the first time, to begin education, Vivaha, marriage. This Sanskar that the family is about to embark on today is called Anteshti Sanskar. It is the last and final Sanskar. Do you know Anteshti Sanskar is one of the most difficult Sanskars to do? And that is why you are asked to shave your head and do all of these things on this time. You know why it is so difficult? Because all the other sanskars, the longest sanskar is Vivaha, which will take 3 days. And Teshti Sanskar takes 1 year to be completed. It is one of the most serious sanskars and most difficult ones that we have to do. However, as children, if we value our parents, and if we truly love them, it is the one thing we can do for them, and to ensure that we do it right. You know, one person said to me, Pandit, you know, I want to do everything and lock off that riding. My answer to him was simple. If Mama, while you resided in her tummy, decided to lock you off, what then? She took you in there for 9 months and all the uncomfortable situations that she would have had. Then she brought you into the world, and then 50 million times for the night, you would cry and she would wake up and look after you. And then when you come into being a young man in the world, she starts molding and grooming you, teaching you manners, teaching you how to eat, how to function, how to live. And even while you're a big man, she still looks after you. Beta you eat, you are roti. That's the one thing all mothers always do. And now when she's no longer here, and Teshti Sanskar, which takes a year to do, you say, Baba, me have time for that and I want to lock off everything in one day. My answer to that is very simple. Hi, that is your mother. If you want to lock off that, I just the pundit. Bam, bam, and I up to you. It's up to you. It's your call to me. So, Anteshti Sanskar is a very difficult Sanskar, and members of the family would embark on the beginning of that process, and it starts today. It starts and it begins with, I don't want to use the term getting rid of, but really consigning the physical body to fire. And it begins at that point. So the sons and grandsons and family members who have prepped themselves here this morning to begin the ceremony, we begin by a purification process. And firstly, before we go into that, I'd like to ask everyone to put your hands together, close your eyes, and together and collectively as a family, knitted together. I know that sometimes we may have our little differences. In every family we will find some differences, but today I ask that we put all those differences aside in the name of Mama and the beloved mother of this home, and we pray together. Because the one thing she would want for us all is for us to be united, for us to stand together and do the needful. Do the things that we must do to make her happy in the hereafter. If she would have spent almost 90 years in dedication and sacrifice to make us happy as a family, it's our turn to get together, minus differences, and do these things that we have to do to ensure that Mama would be happy, so that her journey from here to the realm hereafter will be a much comfortable one. So while I chant this mantra, you can concentrate on that form of Lord Krishna, and also you can keep chanting in your mind, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarve Kutumbha Shukaturanam Rudhodayam Mrityu Viyoghakarane Bhaktam Hitam Tapaharantu Devaha Pretasya Moksham Kurvantu Shighram. हे दयालु परमात्मा, हम सब जो इस मृतात्मा का कुटुंब है, हम शोक से व्याकुल हो रहे हैं। ये देव, आप भक्तों के ताप को हरण करने वाले हैं। आप इस आत्मा को शीघ्र मुक्ति दीजिए भगवान। Lord, a great loss has been sustained by the death of this dear person. And so, Lord, congregated together this morning as a family, we pray to you with love and with devotion in our hearts, Lord. We pray that you remove the pain of all the family members, and Lord, we beg that you grant salvation to the departed soul. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So as we continue along with our ceremony, and a funeral service is a very simple one. And if you listen to me, I am sure that you will understand a funeral service at the end of it. Firstly, we prepare ourselves. In life, we always prepare ourselves for everything. Those who are prepared will always succeed. Those who are unprepared will never really succeed. So preparation forms an important part in every aspect of our lives. As we prepare to begin this funeral service this morning, we prepare ourselves to do so firstly by washing hands. I know that you will have a bath and come here, but the mantra will purify the hand to ensure that whatever we are offering in the name of the departed will indeed be pure. Apa vitraha pavitro va saravasthan gatopi va yaha smrit pundarikaksha sabaha bhayamkara suchi. So the mantra is saying Om Apa Vitraha Pavitro va. So the word apavitra means impure and pavitra means pure. So we are saying this morning Om Apa Vitraha Pavitro va. Lord, sarvasthan gatopi va. May my hands be pure enough to make offerings in the name of the departed. How can this be accomplished? In Sanskrit, Yahasmrit means bringing to mind Pundarikakshaha, who is yet another form of God. May my hands be pure enough to make offerings in the name of the departed. And so having sprinkled water, we now sip water 3 times for inner purification. Om Achyutaye Namaha, Keshavaye Namaha, Madhavaye Namaha. Bhagavad Puran declares that anyone who can have remembrance of the 3 blessed names of Lord Krishna, namely Achyuta, Keshava or Madhava, while we partake of water, and we cleanse and purify ourselves internally. You know, usually there could be a million things could go wrong on the day of a funeral. Someone could say something to trip you off, somebody could do something to get us angry, and the mind may not be stable. But it is said if we chant Achyuta, Keshava, Madhava, and we sip water 3 times, then all the negative energy and forces from around us will be laid to rest. And the mind will now be able to focus on the task at hand, which is Anteshti Sanskar. So having sipped water 3 times with the 3 blessed names of Lord Krishna in the mind, we now rinse our hands because we would not want to offer with our Juta hand, as one would say. Om Govindaya Namo Namaha Iti Hastam Prakshalyam. And this thing looks simple enough for everybody so far, right? Yeah? So having done so, we now place a ring in the index finger of the right hand. This ring is called a painti, and it is made with kush grass. Why is it made with kush grass? The mantra says, Kuse Brahma, Kuse Vishnu, Kuse Deva Maheshwara. That this ring, this kush grass represents Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Who is the Trinity? Lord Brahma is the creator of this universe, Lord Vishnu is the sustainer, and Bhagavan Shiva is the dissolver. By making the ring of kush grass, and when kush grass touches the body when we perform Shrad, it is said that Brahmadev, the creator of this universe, will bless us to create only a positive attribute in the mind. Bhagavan Vishnu will continue to bless us to sustain that within the mind. And Bhagavan Shiva, who is the destroyer, will destroy all the negative things from the mind while we perform this ceremony. So it is placed on, you have 10 fingers. When you do puja, you usually put the ring on this finger. In this Shrad and funeral services, we put the ring on the index of the right hand. Why? Because presiding over every part of the human body, there is a particular Devta or Devi. The God who sits on the index finger of the right hand represents Mukti or liberation, and therefore the painti is placed there. So, having prepared yourself for Anteshti Sanskar, the ceremony begins by sprinkling water upon the body as we circumambulate, as we walk around the body and pass it on to each other. Yeah. Keep sprinkling. Why? No, you wait. We do this. Keep sprinkling like that. Walk right down, hand it to him, and you do the same. Om Govindaya Namo Namaha Iti Hastam Prakshalyam. Om Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandalokaya Shisha Darshan Nagapavani Sarva Papatma Sudviya Mritashira. So again we're sprinkling water, and the mantra is saying Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandalokaya. What does it mean? That this water, Lord, may very well be ordinary tap water, but because of the love that it is sprinkled with, Lord, may it assume Ganga-like qualities. What is the quality of Ganga? You know, we all journey to the river Ganga. Most of us, when we go to India, the one place that we want to visit is Ganga. It is termed as being a tirat. It is called that because it carries the ability to remove one's sin, to purify and to make pure. And for that reason, we all touch Ganga. In an abbreviated form, the history of Ganga is that she emanates from the toenails of Bhagavan Vishnu, the washings of his feet, which was placed into the kamandal or the lota of Lord Brahma in Brahmalok. It was poured off Brahmalok and it rested upon the jata of Lord Shiva, and then it flows upon the earth. And so those of us who will realize this will understand the depths of Ganga. And for this reason, we all try to touch River Ganga if we should ever go to India. So the mantra is saying Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandala. Lord, may this water assume Ganga-like qualities by the power of mantra and by the power of prayer. May it assume Ganga-like qualities, and may it purify this physical form that is lying before us here this morning, so that it will be ready to be placed upon the lap of Agni Devta, who is the god of fire, in a short while. So we continue the purification process of the body by now offering sacred tulsi leaves on various parts of the body along with a piece of gold. So everybody will touch hands, and the main person will be offering. Om Anadhino Dhana Vishnu Shankha Chakra Gadadharam Apado Pundarikaksha Preto Gati Samudra Bhava. So sacred tulsi leaves are offered on various parts of the body along with a piece of gold. We all know well the history of Tulsi Devi Mata. When we offer prasad to Bhagwan, Panchamrit, etc. in puja and in prayer, we always put a piece of Tulsi leaf. Why? There's a book called Miracles of the Tulsi Plant. In that book, there are 108 different cures for Devi Tulsi. More than ever, she purifies and she enables things to become pure. In a short while, as I said earlier, this body will be rested upon fire. The Lord of fire is Agni Devta. So therefore, Tulsi leaves are placed on the body. The physical form will be offered to Agni. You see, we came from God, and one day we will all return to God. And so various Tulsi leaves are placed, on various parts of the body. And so having done so, we continue our ceremony as we offer Gand. Gand means fragrance. Om Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Binavatsa Gochta Akshara Sware Karoti Jalahin Shaiva Viyogya Dukham Rudhanti Vastha Kri Sarve Kurvanti Pretasya Moksha Kurvantu Shigram Borovindra Bihari Lal Ki Jai. The word Gand refers to fragrance. And not everything we do sometimes in life or in ceremonies are religiously based. Gand or fragrance is offered for a specific reason. And when the soul leaves the body, and we call it death, the body emanates a very foul stench. And so perfume is offered for this reason and nothing more. No other religious significance, as one would say. Govindaya Namo Namaha iti hastam prakshayam. So let's all join together while we offer Gand. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So having offered Gand, we now offer Chandan upon the forehead. Again, Chandan is placed as a decorative measure upon the forehead. Om Govindaya Namo Namaha iti hastam prakshayam. Om Hiranya Garbha Purushadya Bhaktya Swarupine Asya Pretasya Mokshartho Subrito Bhava Sarvada Govindaya Namo Namaha iti hastam prakshayam. Govindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Shriyam Bhagwan Ki Jai. Shri Aryama Pitra Bhagavan Ki Jai. At this point in our ceremony, we offer 6 pindas from this point until the point of cremation. It is said in Garud Puran, in some parts of it, that the pindas, they say, are offered in the name of all the divinities who will be in charge of the soul from this point until the point of prey, when the soul journeys to the realm of prey. So we offer the first pinda. Om, just hold on. Om Shirati. Om Shirati.
Gumtee Hadai.
What?
Gumtee Hadai.
Gumtee.
Gumtee.
Gumtee. Go ahead. Om Adhya Mukha Otara Pritura Mukha Gumtee Nam Bhumi Prashkyaratam Mritak Sthani Nam Pratham Pindaste Maya Jidyate Tavo Patishtitam Shri Aryama Pitra Bhagavani Ki Om Adhya Mukha Gotra Piturmukha Gumtee Nam Bhuta Trishtyaratam Natakasthana Dvitiya Pindaste Maya Jiyate Tavo Patishtita. Om Adhya Mukha Gotra Pitura Mukha Gumtee Nam Bhuta Kotha Palansha Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtita. Om Adhya Mukha Gotra Pitura Mukha Gumtee Nam Vishram Kale Isachadhi Nam Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtita. Shri Aryama Pitra Bhagavan Ki Jai. So having offered the sacred pindas, we offer mala and flowers at this point in time. It is said that the mala is broken when we offer the mala. More than ever, it represents the relationship that we would have had with Mama over the years is no longer there, and so the relationship is broken. So the mala is broken and offered. Om Anadhino Dhana Vishnu Shankha Chakra Gadadharam Apado Pundari Kakshah Preto Gati Samudra Bhava. On behalf?
On behalf of.
Just write on the foot now, on front of
Right. Right.
Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. At this point in time, we'd like to ask family members, loved ones, etc., all those who want to come and offer a flower, a mala, etc., we'd ask these guys to stand aside for a few moments, and we'll leave the floor open for all those who want to come and offer a flower to say your final goodbyes, etc. Is there anyone who would like to do a bhajan for us while we're doing this? To sing a song for us? Anybody?
Can we like put, please put, I was gonna say, but nobody's saying like to put you could select one from YouTube or something.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know, any doubt, just give you.
Just type in Krishna Bhajan. Krishna Borde ha varit sånt just när man är mycket med bålen på
Which one? Song, but.
The internet, you know, trouble. Yeah. No, they return it. That's all. You're tired? What?
Anybody else? So at this point in time, we'd like to call on Tricia.
Morning, everybody. Gumtee was born to Sukmar and Popowar on October 6, 1932. She only had one sister, Bagmania, with whom she had a very close relationship. When Gumtee was 16 years old, she was married to Gumtee Hadai, known as Papa to most of us. This was an arranged marriage where both Gumtee and her sister got married on the same day. Called Mama by neighbors, friends, and relatives, she enjoyed a wonderful marriage with Papa. Together they had 5 children: Topsy, Diana, Vishnu, Karam, and Sherry. They lived in Garahu Trace, but later moved to Hyderabad. When Papa died, Mama acted as both a mother and father to her children and was very loving to them, her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She was adored by all her family, including her nieces and nephews, and that love was appreciated and reciprocated. Mama had a very full life, and it was a very well-rounded person. She was a cook, baker, seamstress, gardener, and while caring for her 5 children, an accomplished economist. She was always active, planting her peas and corn and digging tipitambo with her grandkids. In her younger years, Mama loved going to the cinema. Every Wednesday, she would drive to Uncle Karam for the 10 a.m. showing in San Fernando, and on Fridays, after the cinema, would go to the market. This tradition continued on with many of her grandchildren. Mama was an avid fan of Ian Allen. Every time Uncle Karam called, he would ask, "Mama, what are you doing?" She would reply, "Well, I'm watching Allen." When her children called to ask how she was feeling, her response was, "I'm going good, and how are you going?" Mama has always been a healthy person. She never complained about feeling unwell. It was only in May of this year that she began to feel ill. But even through her illness, Mama showed a very strong will to keep going. Up to the very end, Mama fought very hard. But eventually at 12:30 a.m. on 4th of October, Mama left us, just 2 days away from celebrating her 90th birthday. Goodbye, Mama. We will all miss you and forever cherish our memories with you. To be absent in this world is to be present with God. May your soul rest in eternal peace until we meet again. Saying goodbye is never easy, for saying goodbye to the matriarch of this family makes this an even more difficult goodbye. Mama, as she's so lovingly known to many, was always full of energy and one of the strongest women that I ever knew. Humble, loving, generous, and care for her family that cannot be measured or compared to another. I can still hear her say every time that I come over, Trisha, you and Ethan, and I would always cherish her welcome into this family. She had one of those deep belly laughs that was always genuine, so you know it came from the heart. On behalf of Mom, Dad, Sid, Vince, Angel, Rishi, myself, and our families, we appreciate and thank you for coming to celebrate the life of our Mama. And although today we say goodbye, we will never forget you because of your love that you filled our lives with. Love you now, always, and forever. Rest in eternal peace.
Thank you very much, Bolo Bindaravan, Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Is there anyone else who would? Yeah.
Yes. Sit down. My sound a bit so I'm saying, Sitaram, to all gathered here today, to pay our last respects to our beloved relative Mami, as was known to me. I can't say it's a good morning, as today is indeed a sad one. We have lost a great soul, a beautiful person, someone who we would dearly miss. Mami didn't have much formal education, but she possessed a unique degree. And she majored in sharing, giving, and loving others. Mami loved her politics and voted diligently whenever the occasion arose. We all knew who she voted for. She doted her children, grand and great-grands, and supported them in whatever endeavor they undertook. The kitchen seemed to be one of her most frequented places, where she prepared delicious dishes and delicacies for everyone. Any and everyone was allowed in her pot, and whatever she prepared seemed to stretch that little extra. Mami worked diligently throughout her lifetime. She waded for weeks in the rice fields, reared cows, and always had a blooming kitchen garden. The latter she would interrupt to watch her midday soaps. She loved the cinema in her youthful days and maintained a vivid memory of Indian movies and her favorite stars. She idolized Dharmendra, and I'm sure would have seen all his movies, some several times. Wednesdays were reserved for a good 10 a.m. movie in Hyderabad. I personally would miss Mami dearly, as I had a routine of visiting her over the years. I loved to engage her in conversations over many subject matters, and there was always something to learn at the end. Today, as we say farewell to Mami, let us smile for her. She lived a full life, a good life, and we should feel privileged to have shared in it. Go in peace, Mami, and may you have eternal rest. Thank you.
Bolo Bindaravan, Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Is there anyone else?
This was written by Auntie Shaw from England. Mami means your mother's oldest brother's wife in Hindu family. Mami, or Gumtee, was born 90 years ago, the elder of 2 sisters. According to Mama, although she had to be severely nudged on her wedding day, she was very young after all, she and Mama went on to have one of the happiest marriages and households in the family. If you wanted to be in an unrestricted home full of love, fun, warmth, and freedom, and I'm sure many of you all here today would agree, the best destination was the Coco by Mommy and Uncle, and then later on here at the new house in Faizabad. Theirs was the place we all gravitated to. As a person, Mommy had a fondness for cats, and I certainly remember a very talkative parrot. In the olden days, she loved listening to her daily story on radio before ZTV came out. And she loved a double bill on Wednesday at the cinema. Mommy had a serene calmness and was rarely ruffled, nor did she raise her voice to anyone. She was legendary for baking, from cakes, coconut bake, but her sweetbread was second to none. And when guava was in season, the smell of guava jam and jelly filled the kitchen, and I'm sure that Tootsie had a huge part to play in this too. And up until recently, she had everyone helping to make chocolate. I can guarantee that everyone here today knows that if you were in her home between 6:30 and midnight, you'd be guaranteed some food. And she had a knack to make the simplest food taste like you've never had it before. Mommy was also the kind of aunt you'd rely on if you'd go out, especially if your parents had already forbidden you to do so. She was key to helping you go cinema, bazaars, and especially on Carnival, she'd be in charge of us. In reality, she'd take us to the Michelin tire shop in San Fernando just to say to us, go watch the mass, fully knowing we'd be jumping up and dancing like crazy, but to return at a set time. We knew we could get away with running around unrestricted, bare feet, climbing trees, learn to ride a bike, and even when Tootsie threw Rena in the well and said, learn to swim. Or when they stole someone's chicken and curried it. There was no buffing up or quarreling. She saw the funny side of that. The truth is that Mommy and her family played a big part in many of our lives growing up, and for that we are grateful. But Mommy really lived her life for her family. Her motto was very much, let them have what they want, let them have fun. She was happiest surrounded by family and seeing them happy, and she loved fiercely and protectively. If she ever had any reservations, she never showed her emotions, and she was a woman of few words. Mommy had a quiet dignity, a quality which very few people have these days. We know this is certainly the end of an era, in that we will no longer have a Mommy to visit, to pass by, to pop up by, or have a laugh with. She was the ultimate surrogate mother and grandmother to many of her nieces, nephews, and their children. We know that Shireen had plans for prayers and birthday celebrations, and it's sad that Mommy was unable to hold on a little longer, as this is something she would have definitely enjoyed. But knowing her, she'd still celebrate her birthday and her life. I'd say it's best we all remember her and smile, and then remember her and be sad, and I can guarantee many of you here today will have your own memory or story of her. And Uncle would say do not mourn or cry, but to allow her soul to travel. She's now at peace with Uncle and her oldest son.
Thanks to everybody who is here, and thanks to the people who are not here but their heart is here. Ma, we love you and we will miss you. We are very grateful to have spent so much time as we did with you. Now you are on another journey, and what I would like to wish Lord Krishna's blessing to you for a safe journey. Sitaram, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to say a few words?
Good morning. My name is Ramesh, but everybody knows me as Gumtee. I grew up in a village where Mommy lived. I got married. I want to say that Mommy was so blessed and so nice to each and every one of us. We remember the boy days and the youth days that when we grew up with all of us. She never hid nothing from our nephews and our nieces, you know, and regular make cook. You know, Tootsie was one that picked up by her mother. She learned to bake, you know, and when we have a cricket game or whatever, she would make something nice for us, you know. Tootsie, Rena, Timothy, Lily, Sal, all of them used to be together, the girls used to be together, you know. Mommy always support all of us. Even when you know, when Nanny put up some milk to boil in the evening time, they take out the sari from the cream. Then I remember the man who always to go in the pot, you know, and Nanny used to make noise, but the mother used to wait until the evening time come, like all of us there, and she used to take out and give him, and he's a chef for all of us, you know. It was nice days when all of us grew up together. Rama was always around with us, you know, and Mommy is such a person that, you know, like on Christmas time, you know, the family was, well, our grandfather had 16 children, and we used to got up one day by the house, and Mommy has to prepare for all that, bake and, you know, and cake and turkey, they had turkey mining, you know, and she said, make sure to kill them and kill one or two, and because they're a big family. They never seen any money problem in nobody. She never had misunderstanding with nobody, and she lived with her in-laws, and they had no complaint with her. She was always pleasant and good with them until they died. You know, everybody passed away. So mommy is somebody that we always keep in our heart, and all of us learn a lot from her. We taught about her children to be a good cook. Somebody could cook very good, and was the best in the school. Rest in peace, you know. She's my auntie, that is my mother's sister-in-law. You know, my mom, well, she tells us the age of my mother has 90, my mother is still around. And one of the best, you know. That I say, everybody, no chance to come in and we live as one, and we always keep on living like that.
Govindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Is there anyone else who would like to say a few words? Govindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Kabir Das ji says, Aaye hai so jayenge Raja Rang ka Fakir. And that translates into saying that those of us who would have come into this world will surely leave one day. Whether you're a king or a beggar, we'll all have to leave this world one day. There is no way that we can hold back that. When it is time for us to depart from this world, we will all have to depart one day. The sad reality of life is, though, that when we will have grown to love someone over the years, it becomes very difficult for us to say goodbye. It becomes very difficult for us to accept the fact that we will not be able to see this person again. And for this reason, it brings about great pain for us. This kind of separation, really. You know, I stood here and listened as to everyone who always had something good to say about Mommy, as she is lovingly referred to. Everybody had all the good things to say about her, and rightfully so. You know, the younger generation is a totally different generation. The older people is something totally different. They were in a category and a class all by themselves. It was really, they are really special people. And those of us who would have had the opportunity to have any kind of interaction with people of that era would understand what I am talking about. They had such a different way about them. You know, everyone had so much good things to say about her. And it means one thing, you know. It means that her name would live on forever. It means that the things that she would have done would have stamped a permanent memory in our hearts somewhere along the line. And that in itself implies that really she would live on forever. She may not physically be here in this form, but she will continue to live on in your hearts forever. I am sure 5 years from today, 10 years from today, 15 years from today, we will all remember those little moments that we spoke of here today. And many more moments that we would have had with her. So really, it's a time for us to reflect on those things. More importantly, to understand where we would have come from as a people. I'll give you an example. A couple months ago, I met this person. His Aja was a pundit. And he came up to talk to me at the end of our funeral. You know how he started talking to me? He couldn't stand up, so he had to hold on my shoulder. And he, Baba, yeah, who is me? I is Rami, so and so pundit grandson. Drunk like a fish, he can't stand up in the people's funeral. How does that sound? Your grandfather is a pundit, and this is Lachan, this is the attitude that you have. We have to understand where we'd have come from, you know. If Mama would have lived this kind of life, if Mama would have been this kind of person, then we, the family members of her bloodline, should try to follow in that path as well. The values that she stood up for, the things that she believed in, the way that she carried about herself, the things that she would have tried to impart on us are the things that we should remember and carry forward. Of course, there's always improvement to life. You're living in a home and it's 2-story, you want to have 3. You're living in a car, I mean, you buy a car, you're driving a Sony, you want to graduate Toyota at some point in time. We all want to make improvement in our lives. And I think that improvement in our lives should be made as far as mannerisms and respect and all these things go, spirituality, etc. We should try making improvements in our lives as well in that field, because we are not here forever. And I like to repeat that by saying death serves as a reminder to us all that we are not here forever. Why waste the short time we have here? Why? If I ask anybody randomly and you do the math in your head, what's your age? Average person, 40, 50. What's life expectancy? Let's say 80. That's too much for we in this day and age. We'll just say 80. So you have 30 years remaining. Let's just say that, for argument's sake. How much of that do we work? 8 hours a day? Minus 8 hours a day. Errands that we have to run and things that we have to take care of. 4 hours. Sleep. 10 hours. How much hours you have for yourself for the day? 3, 2, 1. Times that by 7, that's how much you have for the week. Times it by 4, that's how much you have for the month. Times it by how much time you have remaining to live on this earth, and see what little time you really have here on this earth, and then ask yourself, is it worth it? Am I maximizing on my days? Am I making the best of every given moment? You know, there are many moments in our lives when we sometimes have regret. When we regret that we should have done things differently. Mama is now lying here before us all, and we the family members are congregated around. Let us say our goodbyes. But in doing so, let us always remember that as we continue to live our lives, we should live our lives in a meaningful manner. Always mindful of death. And it could happen to any one of us at any point in time. And for this reason, we should live each day as being a very productive one. A day that is without regret, without things like that. So today we offer prayer to Bhagwan Krishna, asking of Bhagwan Krishna to shower his choicest and most divine blessings upon the departed soul. I would like to conclude Anteshti Sanskar by, this part of Anteshti Sanskar, that is by letting you know that the body will be consigned to fire in a short while, and I'm sure that if you had listened to this ceremony attentively, I'm sure that you would really understand a Hindu ceremony by now. The final part of it though is that as Hindus we prefer cremation over burial over anything else, and there is a reason for that. The human body is made up of 5 elements. The body that is made up of earth, we say ashes to ashes, earth to earth, etc. The heat in the human body is defined as the fire. The water, of course, we know that the human body is a percentage of water. The air, soham, aham, where we breathe and we exhale all the time. The space that resides within each cell in the human body. And these are the 5 elements. When the body is consigned to fire, when we journeyed to the creek just now, the body will be making 5 stops. Each stop will pay recognition to the gods of the elements. The Lord of Water, Varun Devta. The god of earth, Prithvi Mata, with Vayu, etc., Agni, fire, and we take the body to that point where it will be placed into fire. Placing it into fire, it will meet firstly, the element of ether. It will not be upon the ground, it will not be in the space, it will just be suspended in the fire. It meets the element of fire. Fire cannot survive without wind, it will meet the element of air. And the next day, the family members will gather the ash, take it down to the Mosquito Creek, pour it out at the river's end. It will meet the element of water, and of course it will be washed off to the banks, where it will again meet the element of earth. So the 5 elements which was used to create the human body will now return to their original state when we perform cremation. And for this reason, cremation is performed. So as we near the end of Anteshti Sanskar, I'd like to ask the Shoulders to come stand behind us. At my extension, I'd like everyone to stand. Let's put our hands together, close our eyes, and offer our prayer in our own words. And at this point, I'm sure that we can all say a prayer in our own words, asking Allah to show His choices and most divine blessings upon the departed Lord. You know, while Mama was alive, if she was thirsty, we could have given her a cup of water. If she was hungry, we could have given her some food to eat. You should have said that her foot is hurting, we could have, squeeze, massage the foot a bit. So we can do things for someone while they are alive, but they are no longer with us. So what can we do? The one thing we can do is pray and say in our own words with love and which comes from the heart, Lord, all we can do now is to be at your mercy. And in prayer, Lord, we beg you and we ask of you to shower your blessings upon her. Lord, may her journey from this realm to the realm hereafter be a much comfortable one. Lord, may the offerings of water and the pinda and whatever offerings that we do make from now until the point of Bandara, Lord, may you bless her so that she will always be able to receive them and thus make her journey to the realm hereafter a much comfortable one. Om Gayanidhi cha Tirthani cha Punyaha Siddhoshtayaha Kurukshetre cha Ganga cha Yamunaha cha Saritraram Kaushakim Chandra Bhagyam cha Sarva Papa Pranashini Bhadravakansham Suryam Gandhikim Namasatha Vaishnavam cha Varaham cha Tirtham Pindarakam Tatha Prithivyayani Tirthani Chakulaha Sadharakam Statah Om Shanti 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 Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki right, you can all take your seats. Those who did not have an opportunity to view the body should use the opportunity to do so now. We still have some flowers remaining. Those who did not have the opportunity to offer a flower, please come up and you can offer a flower now. We'll be leaving in roughly 5 or 10 minutes for the mosquito tree.
Loving are you,
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? Yeah. Good, yeah, take it.
Sorry.
You pick some.
Did you bring your water out?
Sorry.
Yeah, the pretty one.
Yeah.
Huh?
You could ride, yeah. Somebody else.
मोक्षकामहचितायं दाह साधनं नाम एष पिण्डस्ते मया दीयते तवोपतिष्ठिता आक्ष्मण्यं पुराक्ष्मण्यं पराक्ष्मण्यं समर्पयामि Aryamaputradevaaya Swaha, Shri Chitradevaya Swaha, Shri Guptadevaya Swaha, Om Swaha Maheshwari Gum Swaha, Shri Swadha Maheshwari Swaha, Om Swaha, Om Bhuvaha Swaha, Om Janaha Swaha, Om Tapaha Swaha, Om Sharvaya Swaha, Om Ugraya Swaha, Om Pashupataya Swaha, Om Shri Ashnaya Swaha, Shri Yamdevaya Swaha, Aryamaputradevaaya Swaha. Can we get 4 people to hold the 4 corners of the tent to just move it back out? Yeah, about 8 people, 2 on a 4 space.
Street over the road. For the road.
Yeah. Arch,
Where we doing?
Yeah. Next one, come. Whoop. Hey, big man.
Yeah, one more over there. Come. You want to take one card, please?
No, you can't take one.
No,
you don't want it together. Come. Ready? Go. Yeah. Raise. Raise back. Where are you going, mate? Whoop. Hey. You have to go slow. Okay, there we go.
What do you have?
Cameraman, watch your camera, bro.
Right,
where they going, mate?
Raise.
Hey, just fellas pulling with us.
Hey.
Watch out there, watch out there.
Wait.
Right.
Straight over the road. Heavy, that concrete heavy. Alright, yeah, got it. You late. You late. We're waiting for you. Well, that time you walking by. So you know Indian time? When everybody reach early. Right now. When everybody reach early. Come and meet the tea and see tea and do what see.
Everybody for the second.
put it to. Money put it. Yeah. I do it. A long time ago.
For stew money. What do you
Where is he?
There you go.